ito.
לא מדבר, לא מדבר.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm privileged to invite Professor Oran to present and demonstrate the new breakthrough DSG technology. Professor Oran is a maxillofacial surgeon and holds the position of the clinical director of ConfiDent company. We also want to take this opportunity to offer you to be part of this successful project and to enjoy not only the clinical benefits of the technology, but also the financial opportunities. Therefore, our financial consultant will be happy to meet you after the demonstration and explain the different options of investing. Yossi and his team will be here. So enjoy.